Firefighter Danny. Today we're going to do a drill on the portable pump as part of my senior fireys program. Got some level 1 firefighters, my body Krell, Sean and Kulmar, that are going to assist me in the processes. We'll run through all the features, do the safety and all the PPE required, and then we'll get down and get the pump to work using our sim sheet our station provided. I'd like to start off with a few safety features first that we need to know about. Be mindful of all the CO2, the exhaust gases. Doesn't want to be operated in a confined space. In fact, there's no other option. We need cruising BA, breathing apparatus, and obviously having to monitor the atmosphere with our gas detector. No flammable objects in or near or around the machine when we're operating. The machine gets quite hot. We don't want anything catching light, anything exploding, so we're mindful of that. Pump's running for an extended duration, we're getting low on fuel. We need to stop the portable pump before refueling. Refuel in a well ventilated area as well. Now if we need to lift it, the machine pump weighs 32 kilos, so it's required. So there should be a team lift sticker on there that's telling us that. So manual handling, bending knees, team lift, sort of things. We don't do ourselves any injuries. The muffler gets quite hot, and we're very mindful of that. We don't put our fingers or anything on that, so always wearing gloves, sleeves down, hearing protection as well, parts of our PPE. The portable pump is a 4-stroke engine, which has separate oil compartments with premium unleaded fuel to operate it. Operating procedures for the pump needs to be located on level ground. If it's on a gradient more than 30 degrees, there's a cut-off mechanism in the pump that will cut the engine out and it won't operate. So if you're on a steep gradient or something that's cut out, it's probably why it's not on the level ground. It's the oil level in there has been altered and cut the machine out so it doesn't blow the motor up. When we're sourcing close to a static water supply, it's probably a good idea to attach some sort of pocket line something to the portable pump. Has a tendency to want to move, and the last thing we want is it falling into static water supply or the ocean or something when we've got a job and we're using the pump. Used as an open relay pump, not to be connected up to a high pressure hydrant or anything like that, otherwise it'll blow the impeller motor inside. So anything just static water supply for our operating procedures with that. We never want the impeller to run dry inside. If we run dry, burn the motor out, that's no good. For sourcing from the ocean or salt water, it's always imperative at the end of the day that everything's flushed out when we go on fresh water. There's salt water in there sitting idle. No good. Also, if any salt water splashed over any parts of the pump itself, we need to wash that off. Hot soapy water, all that salt water residue off the machine. We never want to leave water in the pump after we're finished. We have an impeller drain plug down there that once we're finished we'll loosen off, tip the pump up and make sure there's no water sitting stagnant idling for an extended time. Davy pump, portable pump can deliver pressure at 750 kPa, so attached to 3 lines of 38 is the maximum length that you can have. Said 750 kPa is the operating pressure that you get to, so it's quite sufficient for firefighting operations or duties. Also, we have 2 25mm outlets for our bushfire hose, firefighting hose as well, so it's a dual purpose 38mm, 28.5mm stores couplings that we connect up to and use. About 450 litres a minute can pump. Again, produce quite a lot of water, so it can be very, very effective. We went through the PPE, gloves, we'll go that again, gloves and long sleeves again because of the heat. That's imperative as well. We'll just I'll go through and name a few parts on it that we need to to know for when we go back and do our sims check. Fuel, always going to check our fuel before we start, the levels. It's our ignition switch and off and on. Obviously when it's stored or in the off position, it needs to be turned on when we're ready to use. We have oil, we have 2 oil filling points. This side here is a dipstick. When we need pre-op checks, we'll be pulling that dipstick out to do checking our oil. Make sure our level is up to scratch. Our air filter, which will be checked also in the sims, needs to be made sure that the paper element inside is free of dust and the foam material is also clean and can run effectively. Here we have our fuel and choke. Fuel will be always stored in the turned off position. Obviously when we're going to start it in sims, we're pushing it to on, and also the choke is left in the off position to start with until we crank the machine up and go from there. This is our idle here, which is going to run our water flow. Usually start with 1/3 position on, and once we get the suction going with the pump, we'll then open it right up to what we need. The exhaust, as I said before, very mindful of that, very hot. This is our pump in here with our impeller casing inside there. Here's our point where we're going to prime the pump. The filler cap will come off. 225 points for our bushfire hose. Our inlet for our suction hose will be attached. Our outlet there for our 38mm hose connection to the stores. As again, we can run 3 lengths of hose. Another thing I've got to mention too is the portal pump won't pump any higher than 7 metres. So if we're any higher than 7 metres above static water supply, we can't pump and draw up to that height. So that's another thing that we've got to be really mindful of. Well, that's about it. I think we might now get into the sims. We'll run through the sims. Firefighter Krell's going to do that for me. I'll run through the sheet with her as per station protocol. That way we don't miss any steps. It's what we do on our sims daily check. So we're going to do that today. And we'll see how we go with that. So first thing, as we said before, we're always going to locate the pump on a level surface, which we have got. We check the fuel and oil levels. You can see that that's topped up to the brim. That's very good. Obviously, it's very important safety feature. We want to pull up to a job and we've got half a tank of fuel, so it needs to be topped up all the time. The oil dipstick, that's full. Once we unscrew that, we then just sit it back in, and that'll give us our true reading. Unscrew it, put it back in, and just checking that our level is where it needs to be. As again, if it's not at that level, the oil level's too low, our pump's not going to work, it's going to cut out. So fuel, oil, dipstick, that's fine, screwed in. The other thing we need to mention before, the team lift required sticker. And actually I can see that there's not one on there, so that's something we have to chase up with our station, and we'll get the sticker on there. It says the OH&S, we don't want any injuries, manual handling, so it's imperative we have that. It's 32 kilos, it is quite a heavy machine, so it's a safety feature that we need to chase up and get on there. Now the next thing we need to do with our sims is inspect the condition of the air filter. So what we need to do with that is take it off. There's 2 compartments to it, an outside casing, which Eliza's taking off now. Then the inside compartments, which on the outside you can see that we have the foam compartment, which once it gets dirty, it needs to be washed in hot soapy water, clean, dried thoroughly. And once it's dried, it needs to be soaked in oil, and then wrung dry with oil. And that's the way that needs to be. If there's too much oil left on it, once it starts, it could be a bit smoky and run a bit smoky, but that's what it will be. There's too much oil in the foam casing. So if Eliza takes that foam casing off, and we can see inside, I'll take the gloves off, we can see inside the paper compartment, which if it's dirty and dusty, is going to inhibit the running of the pump itself. So the way to fix that will just be to gently tap it on the ground, loose any dust particles or free it, or we can blow it with an air cylinder if you need it to. So just a light tap on the ground just to take any dust or particles out that might be inhibiting the machine. Place our clean foam filter over the top. That's the air filter compartment taken care of. Next part of our sims we need to check on is the filler caps and our blade caps on the store tent for 25 and 30 mil, just to make sure they're all attached. So they are, haven't fallen off, they're not missing. That's good, they're all intact, guys, yep. So attach the suction hose and submerge the strainer in large suitable water container. Just before we do that, I forgot to mention before, with our suction hose, it's got a strainer on the end to stop any build up sediment or sand that will get into the pump and the impeller and be very abrasive and in the long term be no good. Also, there's a flotation device on there that we put in the static water supply as well, which will keep our strainer down so we don't get that cavitation or air intake into our pump, which might affect our flow. So that's fine, guys. Keep going with that. Let's attach your suction hose. Submerge the strainer. Flyby children, would you like to assist with that, please? We can prime that could be now primed. You want to fill, it always needs to be primed. We'll fill the impeller, pump up with water. Fill it to the brim, so it overflows, we make sure it's full. So we're happy that that's been primed successfully, that we're full, that's good. Now we need to go back and slide the fuel valve lever to the on position. That should always be stored with the fuel off, which was a good sign. During a cold start, which we have now, we haven't started it up previously, so we've got a cold start. The choke will be left in left position there, so we need to leave that now until we get a couple of cranks, and then we'll slowly put the choke on as we need it. Throttle lever needs to be 1/3 of the way in to start, so that's full on. So if you take back the stabiliser, go back to the start, other way, back to the start, then just go 1/3 in, that's perfect, that's where it needs to be. Next step is turning the on and off ignition switch to on. Pull the recoil start until the pressure is felt. Firstly, we want to attach our branch to the top of the outlet. Leaves high hydrogen. Yep. Once our pump starts to draw water, we'll slowly get to open that up and make sure that everything's working accordingly. Go forward and whenever you're ready, the recoil start until the pressure is felt. Now you just adjust your choke. Take about 15 seconds to prime. Once you feel water going through, you can crack that. Adjust the end of your brand. cavitation, that was all good. That worked well. With our cavitation, we just have to check all the seals and everything. Make sure our water strainer is in our water source. That was good. So when our checks are complete, move the throttle position to idle, which my hydrocril has done. Turn the ignition switch to off, and then it will turn the fuel off. So if we were using now in salt water, we'd allow for this to cool down, and we have to clean it and wash it, but of course we've used fresh water. There's no need for that to happen today. Just let it cool down on its own. We can disconnect that suction hose, and we have to undo that bottom draining plug. So we drain all leftover water out of the pump. That's good. Replace all caps. That concludes a SIMS check on our portable pump. Has anyone got any questions of what we've covered? Do we have safety features, operating procedures, or SIMS? Everyone pretty happy with that? It worked well. All right, thank you very much for your time.